G'day there. Hi, I'm here in Port Douglas, 4 Mile Beach. It's a pretty nice part of the world, but for a variety of reasons I've been feeling the need to get away from here, and those reasons have been compounding for quite some time now, to a point of depression, I suppose. And I don't like to chuck that word around lightly, but anyone that sort of knows me really well knows that I've been struggling day in, day out up here for about 2 years now. And I'm from a part of Australia, South Australia, the Adelaide Hills, where we have 4 distinct seasons, and I know that I'm craving, well, any other season than hot and wet and hot and dry, which is all we get up here. It's a beautiful spot, but, well, this water here, that'll kill you. You can't go in there. Too many crocodiles. You've got to stay pretty alert, even with my dog in the background here. I've seen many crocs down here. And this area sort of doesn't fit my lifestyle too well. All these mountains in the back, I love hiking mountains, and all these mountains in the background. Up here, I've hiked all of these for work. I got paid to walk around these mountains with a machete, looking for invasive species, but I never found it particularly enjoyable, and that wasn't just because of leeches and mosquitoes and getting ripped apart with wait a while. It's because there wasn't a view, and it always felt very claustrophobic in the rainforest. So I've just been craving a few other areas of the world, and that's been making me an unpleasant person to be around for some time here, and I tried to put on a brave face as much as I can, but it's been really difficult for me and for those closest to me. And then something happened a little more recently, where I woke up one day with incredible headaches, and I've never had headaches in my life, and these headaches got worse and worse to the point where I couldn't work. And this, sorry, I should go back a step. I injured myself walking in these mountains. I got a vine wrapped around my leg and fell down a mountain and slipped 2 discs in my back, and that put me out of action. But it put me on a different path, where I ended up becoming a disaster resilience officer, and I thought that all my dreams had come true. I was working in an office, had air conditioning, the things I dreamed about when I was up in the mountains and it was 37 degrees and 100% humidity. I was there, and I was able to express myself in different ways. Excuse me. Yeah, so I was working in the office for about a month, and these headaches started, and these headaches were incredible. They would just drop you to your knees, and it would last all day. And then I started losing vision in my right eye. This started setting off a few alarm bells to a few specialists who sent me off for scans, and this is a pretty long story that's been going on since September last year, so we're quite a few months into this, where I had scans done and they found a lump in my head, and it was a pretty hard time. Then they told me that the lump in my head was nothing, but what I had was something that was going to permanently and irreversibly, I was going to lose my vision. And then that went on for a little while, and then they gave me another diagnosis, and that diagnosis was a little less pleasant, if the other ones weren't pleasant enough, and that was multiple sclerosis. I went on a holiday to Tasmania 2 days before being told I had MS, and that gave me a lot of time to really think about what I was doing, and where I was, what was really important to me, and it came about pretty quickly that I needed to get into the mountains, and proper mountains, get into the Alps, get somewhere with views, and so I started making a bit of a bucket list for things that I thought I wouldn't be able to do again. I came back from that trip, they told me I didn't have MS, they told me I had something else that was an autoimmune disease attacking my main arteries, specifically to my brain and my heart. That was also pretty hard to take, and that got me down into emergency hospital because they were pretty worried about me at that stage, and they told me that I didn't have that. So where are we at? I managed to get into a neurologist who gave me a bit of clarity on things, and we've been chasing this around. I've had to fly a couple of thousand k's to see various specialists, and I do in fact have a lump in my head that's sitting behind my right eye, and nobody knows what to do about it because it is in an area that no one wants to operate on, and it's pretty much a case of continued monitoring of it, seeing if my vision continues to deteriorate. I'm on some pretty heavy neuro blockers for the pain, but it's there, and there's nothing that anyone can really do about it. And so that was pretty definitive for me to make the next decision, and that was to carry on with my bucket list. So a little bit on my headspace. Right before I got the final diagnosis of the lump in my head. The lump looks about the size of an olive, so I call it a headlock olive. Where I was at that sort of time, this was just post-Christmas, my want to get out of this region was been building and building for a long time, to the point that I wanted to have something major happen to me to give me an excuse to get out of here. I couldn't see any other way around it. I'd voiced it for years. The only thing that would really give me definitive excuse to leave, I felt like, was something major health related. And I remember saying to a work colleague that I wished I had a brain tumour. I said I didn't want a brain tumour that was going to affect me for the rest of my life. Just more of a holiday escape brain tumour. Somebody that says something like that isn't in a good place. Somebody that says something like that shouldn't be then too surprised when their wish comes true. It's like by vocalizing it, I manifested it. And you can't put that genie back in the bottle. So there's that.